All right. Under number one, it must, okay, so let me finish the sentence that I stopped on. Okay, it is, in its adjectival function, the participle acts in the following ways. One, it must agree with the substantive that it modifies in case, number, and gender. Okay, substantive just means noun, right? Okay, it must agree with the noun that it modifies in case, number, and gender. Thus, it may be found in all the regular adjectival forms. Okay? Now here's the example. The apostle who is speaking the words of God is the one who is believing. Now you'll notice the ha lagon, see that, or legon, ha lagon, that is your participle. Okay? And so who is speaking? Who is speaking? That's the whole thing. Who is speaking? Okay. Then you've got tous lagus, which is the direct object. So that's what's receiving the action, right? So the apostle who is speaking the words, okay, of God is. You see where that's going? Okay. So the verb, though, the verb of the sentence is esten. Okay?
Right.
So there's really no action in this sentence. Okay? There's no action. All it's saying is something about the apostle. All it's saying is that the apostle is the one who is believing. Okay? But it's not saying the apostle is preaching the word, you know, or the apostle is believing the word, or something like that. This whole sentence is simply saying something about the apostle. Okay, and that's why is the center of that. You know, the esten is the center of the sentence. So the apostle is the one who is believing. It's not making an action. It's simply saying what the apostle is.
So even though it looks like there's three verbs.
Yeah, it looks like there's three verbs, right? And that's why I'm emphasizing this, because you're looking at it like, whoa, no, I see all kinds of action there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's all within the participles, and they're just describing something. So it's not saying that the apostle is doing anything, it's just describing the apostle. The apostle, the one who is speaking the words of God, is the one who is believing.
So the ha pistuon is the person
It's a participle also.
Say again?
the ha pistuon
Yes.
is the participle.
So look at this. So we've got ha legon, that's the first participle. The second participle is ha pistuum. Okay? And they're the same participles, they're present participles. Okay? And they're in the nominative case. Alright?
Now, you called that the direct object, but the logo,
The two logo.
yes, is the direct object of what? Of the participle?
Yes, but it's not received.
It's not the direct object of the sentence.
It's not the direct object of the sentence, right? But it has to function that way.
Was it
Because-
an indirect object then, or no?
Well, okay, so what you do is you just take that clause out, right? You just take that clause out, okay? Who is speaking, okay, the words of God. So then what you do, if you want to, like for instance, if you wanted to diagram it, you would put it on its own separate little thing. You would say, okay, who is the subject, okay, is the helping verb, and speaking is the verb, right? That's the way you would kind of break it up.
And the word is the direct object of that verb.
Right, and then the word would be the line, the down line, and then, you know, the word, right? But that doesn't mean that the word is the direct object of the sentence. It's the direct object within
That phrase.
within that phrase.
Now, the other question I was going to ask, when it talks about the regular adjectival forms, is this structured also, especially since you said this is describing the apostle, as a second attributive, as an adjective?
Okay, where
So-
are you now?
Oh,
I'm asking the question, is it, when it says adjective forms, we're talking about the attributive or the predicate position. So this is the second attributive, because you have the article, the noun, the article, and then the adjective phrase.
Where?
Holego tus logos, that's an adjective, correct? Which is qualifying or saying something about the noun that it's modifying. Is it being used in that way as an adjective?
Well,
Or am I misreading
I-
the article there?
yeah, I wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah.
Because what you're talking about there is how you use an adjective with a noun, okay? And this is adjectival, it's
Right.
you know, and it has the same type of thing, but it's not, okay.
Not used like a noun.
In the next chapter, you will see that why this is different, because you can use an adjective, okay? Or, I'm sorry, you can use a participle that doesn't have an article, and it has a different, it's used completely differently,
Okay.
okay? Okay, so, in other words, here,
So even though it's qualifying or
I wouldn't import that particular
Attributing
piece,
something.
because that's gonna be confusing, so don't worry about that.
So we don't have to worry about like the
Whether it's a first attributive or.
Attributive
Right,
or-
right. Don't worry about that. That is important in other
the
situations.
way you said that though is a participle is not used that way in general.
In general, yes, it's not. And I'll show you why I say that, because if you go to lesson 23, you'll see the example here. Okay, so go down to the bottom of the page on the example. I saw the man before hearing the word. Okay, now notice akuson, see that? That's your participle. Okay, that's your participle. Your verb is I saw, which is epilepsa. Okay, that's your verb, but then you have this participle, which is akuson. Now the akuson is a participle, but it does not have an article. And because it doesn't have an article, it uses this before or after or while. Right?
It's implied in that.
Right. So so I saw the man before hearing the word. Now you can use this in a different combination, and you could say I saw the man after hearing the word. And there's another combination where you could show I saw the man while hearing the word.
Okay.
Okay? So that's why I'm saying I don't want you to get confused with the first attributive and second, or the attributive and the predicative, because of the way this, as you can see, that doesn't even fly at all
Used the
here.
same way.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, number 2. If the participle is in the attributive position, okay, and don't get confused on this because this is where, is it
Yes,
an
that's what I
attributive
just
position? Okay, it is used substantively or adjectively. Hence, remember, articular always adjectival. Okay? So if it's articular, then it's always adjectival. Let me do it this way. If the participle has the article, then it's used adjectively. Okay, so in other words, who is speaking? Okay, if it doesn't have the article, okay, then it's going to be while or before or after or something like that. That's why I'm saying that even though it talks about being in the attributive predicate position, it's not done the same way. It doesn't work the same way. Okay. All right. On the other hand, the participle may, okay, this is on top of page 86. On the other hand, the participle may be used as a substantive without having the article. The context must decide. Okay. Okay, since it may act as a substantive, it may be either a subject. Okay, now notice running is his recreation. Okay, so running is the participle. Okay, that can be like a subject, or it can be like an object. Most players enjoy winning. Okay, so there's the participle there, but now it's functioning much more like a noun. Okay, or a predicate nominative. Seeing is believing. So there, it's functioning like a noun. Okay. So then he's got some examples here. The one who is speaking the one who is speaking is abiding in the house of the servant. So you see that? The one who is speaking, okay, is abiding. So the one who is speaking becomes the subject, right? Even though it's a participle, it's acting like a subject, right? Because menai is the verb. Okay, and we've got another example where on example B, baptizai tus akunatas, let's see, akuntas, ton euangelion. So he is baptizing, okay, those who are hearing. So tus akunatas or kuntas is the participle, but it's also functioning as a direct object. And notice it is in the accusative case. Okay? So this participle is waving its hand saying, I'm acting as a direct object here. Just like the previous example on the ha logon, where it's waving its hand saying, I'm the subject. And then if you get to point C, the one who is believing is the one who is speaking is the one who is believing. Okay, so you've got ha lagon acting as a nominative, and then the ha pistuon is acting as the predicate nominative.
Yeah.
Now, this can seem confusing on the surface, but it's really not. If you just, when you're looking at the sentence, okay, always look for your verb. That's the first thing to look for. Always look for the verb, right? Because the verb is the heart of the sentence. Look for your verb. Once you find your verb, okay, then you're going to start looking for, okay, where's my subject? Where's my direct object, right? And so as you're looking around for that nominative to be the subject of the verb, and you're not seeing it, but you see this great big participle here, you know, in the nominative case, then that's giving you a clue that that's in fact what your subject is. Not always. It could be the one who, you know, you could say the one who is abiding, or he is abiding, who is speaking, or he who is speaking is abiding, right? You could have that, but the sentence would look different. But just keep that in mind, that these can act as nouns. Okay, in the attributive position, the participle may be best translated by a relative clause. The one who, he who, she who, and the thing which. Okay, now notice here how we've got a different approach here. We've got, I saw the man, the example, I saw the man who was saying the word. I saw the man who was saying the word. So, I saw, okay, and then ton, anthropon, which is the direct object, I saw the man, okay, and then ton, legonta, or leg on top, that's also a direct object, but it's modifying man, okay? So the man who was saying the word, I saw the man who was saying the word. Now notice the difference that it has from what you have in the examples above. All right, let's see. Okay, in the example above, the relative clause stands for the substantive anthropos and designates which man was involved. Okay?
So I'm a bit confused. If in the attributive position it talks about the one who or he who, but then in number 3, you know, it's still using the same phrases like the one who, those who, and then for the substantive.
Okay, so you're comparing, the examples under 3 with the example in 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so what was your statement?
Well, it said, in the attributive position, the participle may be best translated by a relative clause, the one who, he who, she who, or the thing which. I
Okay,
mean, that's kind of what the examples.
Previous section.
Yeah, I mean, not the running is his recreation, but the examples that he actually gave seem to sound.
oh, okay, because you're saying that they're using the same relative clauses in
Yeah,
3 as they're using it.
Which, I mean, he's emphasizing with the number 4, yeah. The one who, he who.
Right, and yeah, the point though is that in the fourth one, under the example under number 4, he's the verb or the subject is in the verb. Okay,
Mhm.
I saw the man, and what was the man doing? Who was saying the word? Right. So it's keying off from that anthropon. So that's truly attributing something about the man. Whereas in number 3, it's functioning as a substantive. It's actually functioning as the subject of the verb. Now, yes, in both cases, you're using the who is or he is or she who. You're still using that.
So noun versus adjective.
Yeah.
3 is noun use, 4 is adjective use.
Right. And again, the key word is attributing. It's attributing to the noun something. Whereas in number 3, it is becoming the noun.
Mhm.
Yes, you're still using the who is speaking or that which is speaking or the thing which is speaking. You're still using those terms, but you are using them differently.
Okay. That makes more sense.
But the translation examples that it's giving in 4 would also apply to the examples in
Right.
3. When it's speaking. Okay.
Right, right. I want to check out something real quick. Okay, all right. Okay, so with all that, let's take a look at these. I'll read these out. Hopefully these will help you see some things here. Okay, so, somebody translate this for me. Just read it, just read it.
The angels were loosing. I think last night you said we're destroying the Kaios. What is that? I missed that.
The
The righteous.
Righteous.
The righteous.
Or the
Destroying
righteous
the
ones.
righteous.
That are evil? Yeah.
Are evil. The angels are evil.
Okay, this, first of all, is this angels?
Angelos.
Is that plural or singular?
Oh, the angel who is
Right.
destroying the righteous is evil.
Right.
Because Estin is the he, she. it
Right,
is.
right. Okay, so the angel who is destroying the righteous is evil. Okay, so this is just a simple sentence, but I wanted you to see that. Okay, so first of all, what's the subject of the sentence?
The angel.
The angel.
Okay, the angel, right. So that's the subject. Okay, so we have our subject right there. Okay, what's the verb?
Estin.
Okay, estin is the verb, right? And this is a to be verb, so it's a what's it called?
A form of ID.
Yeah, it's a form of IV, but I mean, I'm thinking of what it is in grammar, what they call it. It's a to be, so it's not an action word. It's not an action word or action verb. It's a verb stating something about the subject. Okay, so that's our verb, right?
This is identifying kakos as the direct object.
Kakos is not the direct object.
Oh, it'd be a predicate.
Okay, it's a predicate, right?
Predicate nominative. right?
So it's a predicate nominative, right? So it's a predicate nominative, right? All right. So here we've got a subject.